Your daily Bible verse for June 27th, 2025 is Amos 5:24 in the KJV. But let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. The Niv, but let justice roll on like a river and righteousness like a never failing stream. Now, judgment versus justice, run down versus roll on, mighty versus never failing. There's not enough room on this square for me to get into the differences of all those, so we're just going to talk about it instead. Judgment is a wise choice or a divine punishment. Justice is what is impartially fair. Fair. So one is assuming that God is going to find this person to be incorrect, or the situation or whatever it is, as opposed to justice. It might be, well, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, and you both have something you have to do as a change, because God assigns the blame to the person it belongs to, and it's rarely all one or all the other. Now, run down as waters, that to me makes me think of a waterfall and not a river. Rivers do roll on. They're usually flat, and what's really making them move is the fact that they're like a narrow inlet between one much bigger body of water and like another, just so the water can move through. Okay. Run down implies, like, to me, a waterfall. Rivers to me don't run down. Down's like a direction. They run on. Okay. So again, with the presuming that judgment is falling on someone instead of justice being brought to a situation, two different things, right? And then righteousness as a mighty stream, a mighty stream. Now, a stream is even narrower than a river. And again, the stream would be moving quickly because, again, it's another narrow inlet from a river to a stream, right? So you can find it from a river or a brook or a lake. I mean, it doesn't have to, because it's usually freshwater rivers. So same thing with streams, but never failing. Mighty means it's very active. There would be a lot of movement. There would be a lot of pressure. Never failing would include that, but it might also include a deeper body that it's coming from. And really, those things are supposed to flow one into the other. So a waterfall into a stream versus a river into a stream. And you have to consider which one of those you would have more consistently. A waterfall is actually fed by a river or maybe a lake or something of that nature. Lakes usually have still water and rivers usually have moving. So a river to me. And, so careful with the expectations of assuming that one is completely right and the other is completely wrong, no matter what this situation is, because it doesn't have to be about people. Okay, this does not indicate necessarily that it's a particular person, but maybe a situation that does need some balance brought to it. But maybe part of what that balance is to really consider if there might need to be adjustments by all people involved, instead of trying to place everything on just one person. Because if you really are kind of paying attention, a lot of times when Jesus is talking to other people, it's always, you do really good with this, but this is how you could do more. Because that's really kind of the Holy Spirit works. Unless you're in a complete state of cleanliness, it's going to tell you what you could do to be more clean. Because usually that's what we're looking for when we're seeking, justice and righteousness. Because righteousness involves correcting oneself.